So as a spotty teenager, I was having engine trouble. I pulled up on this country lane, so I've looked what the problem was, lifted the deck lid, and realised I'd locked myself out of the Beetle with the engine running. So I managed to stop the engine from running by pulling all the leads off, which I don't recommend unless you've got rubber gloves. And then ran up the hill to the nearest farmhouse, which is right at the top of the hill. This is back when I could actually run. And asked him if he got a steel coat hanger, which he did, and he very kindly gave me. Ran back down to the Beetle, and I fashioned myself a hook that looks a bit like that. Then started jamming it between the door drum and between the door and the B pillar, and boy did I mash up my peppermint paintwork. Made a real mess. But for the first time in my life, I'd broken into a car and I got myself into my Beetle. Since then, I've had to do it a few more times. Thankfully not with the engine run this time. But I have discovered a better way of doing it that doesn't cause damage to your paintwork. I'm going to show you how to do that today. I did have reservations about making this film. I actually thought about doing it a couple of years ago when I first launched the channel, but I didn't do it because ultimately I didn't want people to use this information to start nicking bugs. But unfortunately the information is already out there, so if people want to find it, they can do. I recently saw on one of the forums a thread about somebody who had locked themselves out of the car, the keys are in the ignition, and they needed to get in. And people told them how. There's various different methods you can use, including the one I'm going to show you today. Ultimately, if someone's a professional, they're going to probably turn up on a low loader and drag your pride and joy away. And if they're not, they know how to get in, they know how to start it, and they know how to get around any security features you've probably implemented to stop them on the whole. And if they're just morons, they just use one of them or one of them. If you're really unlucky, one of them. And they're going to get in. But today's method, it's a little bit fiddly, so it's not probably ideal for most thieves anyway. You can't do it very discreetly. It's pretty obvious what you're doing. So it's something that I don't think most thieves would use anyway, and it's a good way of doing it without causing damage, which of course they don't care about that especially, but you do. So yeah, let's break into my Beetle and not cause any damage. So you may have seen this stuff knocking around before. It's like packing strap or packing tip, I'm not really sure what they call it. It's like a heavy duty nylon strap they use in retail for securing packages and boxes and stuff. This particular one came from some flowers apparently. I went to the local Tesco, asked nicely, and they just gave me a piece for asking. So first thing is get yourself a length of this. So first thing we're going to do is double it up, give it a squash, which is a nice pointy end. Next you want to give it a roll, so you want it to be bent and curvy when it unrolls. So I find if you just roll it into a little ball, give it a squash, get yourself a nice little curly bit of plastic. Now it's all curly, if you pull or push on one length or the other, you can actually direct where the loop goes. I'm going to film this bit with the window open so you can see what's happening. And get our tape. It should feed past the rubbers relatively easily. Somewhere, see if it can't get it in the bottom, just try a bit higher up. There's usually a point where it's not so tight. You pull and push and wiggle, and eventually you'll find a way of getting it there. Feel like a party game. Oh! 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 Yay, we got it. No damage done. As a last note, if you've locked yourself out your bug at a VW show, then forget the packing strap, just ask the guys around you. There's not that many combinations, and the keys and the barrels are quite heavily worn these days. The chances are there's somebody in the field you're with that will have a key that works in your car. And it's kind of a fun thing to do, and meet some new friendly faces. Hope that helps, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.